Neeraja is a whistler, which you witnessed. A whistler of hearts. She is an inspirational speaker. She is an author and a podcaster. You're going to hear and you're going to be enamored and you're going to learn from her. It's going to be a very enriching conversation. Neeraja, I invite you to please take your place on the podium. This sacred stage is yours. Tanya. And I invite my dearest Yogini of Yoginis, the creator of creators, the one and only Beena Unnikrishnan to take the stage.
My pet name, by the way, is Bubby. So Beena speaks to Bubby. You know, when they say that the words are few, you don't need words. Now, what just happened between Beena and I, by just looking at each other, making eye contact, is heart to heart connection. So, sometimes, Beena, when I'm in a car and a little child is in another car passing by, and suddenly our eyes connect, I feel that that is the best moment of that day. Because eyes are windows to our soul. And when you connect with someone's eyes, it is as if you have connected with their soul. And I want to say something that today, 64 pairs of eyes behind me, two very large ones in front and quite a few. This is nothing other than a soulful connection, heart to heart. So I would like all of us to give one solid, resounding clap and applause.
I'm actually short of words when I sit with you because it's just reflection of love wherever you are, whatever moment it is. It's soul to soul.
I've come with the energy, three of us and some more.
Yeah, she's not here.
She led the healing, and Sukanya is there, Rupa is there, a lot of us. So 1 minute, we5 are the Panch Pyaris, and she led us for that.
And 64 watched you.
And 64 watched us do it. So I first of all want to just tell you that from the 28th onwards, every moment for me has been very divine. And you and Sakina and Abhirami have got this together, and we are all who are here are very lucky to be here. Because without knowing, we have been exposed to so many elements of nature and to so many elements of human beings, which is filling us to such an extent that when they say the cup runneth over, this is what it is. So yesterday in the morning, there was someone called Harihara who spoke very beautifully. And there is a lot that has happened in my life. But she said something very beautiful. She said that I let it pass. Because if you want more things to come into you, you have to empty yourself. Otherwise, how can you fill tea in a teacup that's full of tea? So I think that's what happens to most of us. And when he spoke yesterday about the masculine and the feminine nature of a human being, so many memories came back to me, which perhaps I wouldn't have thought of, and especially not thought of sharing it with you people, till that happened. And so last night, just before I was going home, I asked her if I could have a few minutes with you. And bear with me, I'm going to take you through just maybe 3 or 4 stories of my life. Sakina knows that I could talk for hours, but I'll try to make it as brief as possible.
It's okay, I have a ghandi.
No, we have something close to the mic. After the
Shut
time
up.
it was that it's vibrating.
Not only vibrating, it's a hand might come up and give me one. So that I'll do, okay. So my darlings, before I start to talk, I always say, the divinity in me bows down to the divinity in all of you. And yesterday what happened was that remembrances of memories. And I'm going to talk about 3 generations of women. My mother, yours is here, myself, and my child. But this child is no more. So that's the first story I'm going to tell. When I say story, it's a part of my life. So I'm going to lead you through holding your hand as to what happened. So I had a lot of multiple miscarriages, plenty, unginnat, maybe 20 or so. And finally, I was pregnant. And it was a beautiful communication between the soul of the child inside me and I. And as the child grew within me, there were 3 timings. 6 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 6 in the evening, when, to remind me of her, I would get little kicks. And the whole day I was communicating, putting on lovely music. I was in 7th heaven or cloud 9. And then one day, 8 months later, I suddenly realized that I was asleep at 6 in the morning. 1 in the afternoon, I had some friends over for lunch. And I was at my mother's place, feeling very protected, secure, nourished and nurtured, because that is what a mother does. And 6 in the evening, I felt no kick, no communication. It was a void, an emptiness. And I called my mother and I said, Mom, I'm not feeling anything. And she could make out from my expression, she could make out with the thudding of my heart that something has gone wrong. So we called up my doctor and he said, don't worry, it's 8th month, the child sleeps and is silent and so on and so forth. I told my mother, I said, Mom, I can feel it in my heart that something is terribly wrong. So I think just to make me feel happy, he said, come to the clinic. And we went there, and because I wasn't an emergency case, we went there at 8 in the evening. And I, of course, with God's grace, make myself comfortable and at home wherever I am. So he had about 10 rooms, they allotted me one. I happily went to sleep. What were we people discussing today? Rest full gives us rejuvenation, makes us recoup, recover. So I went off to sleep. My mother was there. I felt secure and protected and shielded with her presence. And I was asleep. I was woken up at 11, and I know, Praveen, I have a lovely voice and it's going to gently lull you to sleep. But I think I said that just to shift the mood, because when the doctor got the the apparatus, there was no heartbeat. And then he got the sonography machine. Nothing. It was straight. Not like the lovely lines that Hovida had done, the heartbeat. You know? And then my mother told him something. She said that, please don't do a cesarean, because if the child was living, it would have given her something to live for. Here the child was no more. So she said, get into the hospital right now. Now, imagine that I'm not telling you this to make you feel sad and to have sad faces. I'm telling you this because every outcome gives you recourse to something that uplifts you. So my husband was with me. In any case, Mom was there all night. He came from Chennai. I was in Bombay. And suddenly, the next morning, I told my mother, please go home. And, we will, my husband has just come from Chennai, we will be together. Bathe, rest, have breakfast and come. While she was away, I started feeling terrible pain. And I told my husband, please call the doctor. 2 doctors were in emergency. He got hold of the matron. The matron came in, and very huge lady, but she gave me such peace when I saw her because she looked confident. She looked as if she can handle anything in the world. And I got her belt. And I said, sister, save me, I'm dying. And I pulled the belt with such ferocity that it broke. And finally, the child was pulled out and it was no more. So I held the baby in my arms. A beautiful child, rosebud lips. I don't even have to shut my eyes to imagine her. I don't have to imagine her. I know her, I see her. And to date, I call her my little one. And my daughter and son, my twins. My daughter always remembers 23rd of July. She says, Mom, I remember the little one. So these are the connections. So we are not only connected to people in the living world, we are connected to our ancestors. We are connected to people who we have loved and lost. But they're all garments, just like we change our clothes. So there's a lovely poem called Death is Nothing at All. I held the baby. My mother held the baby. We saw the baby. I kissed the baby. My husband or in-laws did not want to see the baby because they didn't want that memory to hurt them, to linger on. And they took the baby away. Now, who was left in the room? I alone. But sometimes we need our solitude. We need our silence to communicate within ourselves. Of course, I was heartbroken. Of course, the tears fell. Without a break, they flowed. Not hysterical, just sadness. Just feeling very sad at being parted with her. And then, when you empty yourself, what happens? New ideas come. And what was the idea, my young friends? The idea was that these were the best 8 months of my life. Because it was such a joy to hold her within me. It was such a joy to feel her kicks, to communicate with her, to hear music. And when I say that if you have faith and believe in God, whether they are yoginis or whether they are yogis, guess what happens? You get the answer. And suddenly we say, tube light, enlightenment. What was mine? Mine was that I was so lucky to have her with me for those 8 months. So the first thing was gratitude, immense gratitude. And the second point was that, my God, best 8 months of my life. The second point was that I am so lucky. Lucky why? You would say, is this a lucky situation? I was lucky because the way I looked at it is, this little soul had only 8 months to live as a human being. And I was lucky to have been the chosen one to house this soul. Gradually, a feeling of peace and quiet came up. I bathed in that. So that's why I said, don't have sad faces. Because sometimes, whenever you're going through something difficult, it's not an end. It's just a bend. You people are beginning your life. You have a long life in front of you. And what is going to happen? You will have obstacles. And what I'm trying to tell you is, darlings, that with every obstacle comes a rose. With every thorn, there is a rose. So never give up. Courage, resilience, whether it's failing in an exam, whether it's breaking your leg, whether it's love failure, whatever. Remember, there's always a better tomorrow. So that was one story. Do I have time to tell you a couple more? Has she come?
No, I think she's coming. Take the story for one more day, continue.
All right. So the second thing that stays with me is that finally I had twins. Sakina's daughter and my twins were in the same class in 1994, January. So I've known her since 91. But what I want to tell you here is that it was a precious pregnancy. They were miracle babies. I was in a nursing home in Bombay called Elizabeth Nursing Home for a month with my blood pressure is 270 by 140. And I was living on boiled food and a saltless diet. Please come in. Hi. Is that Kalpana? Hello, Kalpana. Can you just give me 2 minutes while I finish the story? Come. Yeah, Kalpana and I go back a long way too. See, this is what I want to tell you. My darlings, we are all one. Ekaa. We know each other from before and we are just reconnecting. That's mine. You can sit on it. Please come and sit here, madam. Yes.
I didn't see that seat. Sorry.
Not at all. Such a welcome to people I know from before. So I was telling them, and I'm going to make it very brief. So my twins were born, and Kalpana knows that they were premature by 2 months and 5 days. In fact, the nurse who was living at home looking after them for 12 hours was someone she knew too. Yeah? And then the strange thing is that her son was called Abhimanyu. I've named mine Siddharth. And later on, she changed her son's name to Siddharth also. So when these two were born, on the 40th day, my mother said, let's have a little puja in the house. The Granth Sahib was kept there. A couple of people came, only women, very close. But guess what happened? There was no immunity. I had not been exposed to anything. So my twins were taken out, kept at the Guru Granth Sahib, picked up and brought home. But their mother got 105 temperature. And I had about 10 doctors. The pediatrician said, keep the children away with the mother. And the gynaec said, take them away. So they made me wear just minimum clothing, and they got ice. It was 15th of August, 1990. They got ice from all the bars because there was Prohibition Day. And they made me lie down on the side so that my whole body could have been bombarded with cold towels. And my mother's job was to keep slapping me so that I don't go to sleep and get into a coma. Now, why I'm telling you this is the mother's heart. Because every time the cold water hit me, I would scream. I'm hot, burning. And I would scream and my twins would scream. And I said that I must do something. What was the thinking? I am born in India, in a land of masters and saints. And what do we believe? That I am not the body. I am the soul and the soul feels nothing. So I kept psyching myself, I am not the body, I am the soul and the soul feels nothing. And at a point, I did not feel the cold towels on my whole body. I stopped screaming. My children stopped screaming. But guess who was upset? My mother. Because I was not responding. So she slapped me further. Her tears are falling. You can't go. Your children are only 6 months. And I opened my mouth and I said, I am not the body. I am the soul. And the soul feels nothing. My mother thought I was making a farewell speech. I'm going into the next journey. How could I tell her that I'm not? But I just want to make this clear to you young ones who have your whole life journey in front of you, that whatever the situation is, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And with faith, courage, resilience, faith in your guru, faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your family, you can overcome and conquer everything. Thank you, Beena,
Thank you so much.
for giving me this.
Thank you so much.
And God bless all you young ones and you younger ones for all time to come. Thank you.